Hello. I've got a fun project for you guys today. For me, for you guys to watch, and hopefully get some ideas and inspiration. So, I am Chelsea Evans, and I am the owner and artist on Apple Blossom Way. And I am also an ambassador for Redesign with Prima. And so I get to jump on here once a week. We are going to be Wednesdays at 11, once a week. And I can show you some products from Redesign with Prima and give you ideas and inspire you. And hopefully you guys can create really awesome things. So as you come on, I always ask you to say hi, tell me where you're from. And I think it's kind of fun to see where everyone's at and get to know you a little bit better. So today I'm going to be showing you two different products from Redesign with Prima. I am working on this, it's a painting. So the name of this painting is going to be, she's a wildflower. So I don't know if you've heard the saying, probably some of you had, in a field of roses, she's a wildflower. And so that's what I'm creating today. Now, I've already gotten started, as you can see. So I've gotten the sketch done, and I've already started adding some color into her hair and getting some flow. And this way I can show you two different steps as we go. So first, I'm going to show you the Impasto paints. So I don't know if some of you may have used these, some of you might not. These Redesign with Prima carries these, and they are an acrylic paint, and they are really awesome to work with for any type of canvas painting or like florals, or you can paint them on wood, you can paint them on fabric and stuff too. But they're really great to use for a layering type of art like this, because you can layer them on thick and they're not going to crack or crackle as the air dries. They dry slower, and so they're not going to need that air to escape and cause the paint to crackle. So really, and this is an ideal paint to use for portraits, florals, anything that you're hand painting that you're going to add thick layers to. They have tons of different colors in it, and really they're awesome to mix, and they blend really well. And so you can get your primary colors and then you can blend your own, or they do have some colors that are really beautiful. They've got some really beautiful purples, some great taupe, linen, and tan colors. So the Impasto paints are really awesome. So that's what I've done, started her hair with, and I just kind of have some base hair coming down. Hey Lisa, how's it going? And then we are going to add some florals with our transfer. So instead of hand painting the florals, I thought it would be fun to do a mixture so that if you guys at home want to try something like this, it would be fun. If you're not very experienced at painting or doing canvas work, then it might be fun just to start out with something simple like some greens, white and black, and maybe a yellow, and mix your colors and create some grass. And then you can take some different florals from Redesign with Prima and then add them to your project, and then you have really beautiful, perfect florals, and you don't have to hand paint them. So I'm going to use two different transfers. The first one is the Beautifully Native transfer. I love this transfer. It has a large skull, and then I don't know if you guys can really see this well, but then it has two small skulls and some arrows. And so I'm just going to use the flowers off of one of the skulls and then some of the arrows here, and then I can save the rest of the transfer and use it on furniture and other things. But I really love the colors in the Beautifully Native transfer, and so that's why I decided to cut this one and use the florals from it. I also like the size of them. So this is the skull. As you can see, I've cut off the antlers, and then I'm going to cut off this skull, and I can save this and use it for another project. And then I'll use the florals up here to come out her hair. And the same thing with the arrows. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. And then the other transfer that I'm going to sneak a little bit of is the Elegance and Flowers transfer. This is probably one of my favorite transfers, but it has the beautiful birds on it. I just have one sheet extra from a project I did, so I'm going to use some of these. I love the peachy pink tones in here that you see, and I think that will complement these deep purple, maroon, and pink tones in her hair. And then as her hair base, I've just used You can see my palette, but I've used, you know, an orange, red, purple, a little bit of the taupe, and then a little bit of that light blue, it's called mint, as my highlight. And then I got just enough down so we can add some flowers. All right. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask as we go, and I will answer them the best that I can. So I'm gonna start with just kind of cutting these up. I was gonna have them all cut up, but I think it's good sometimes to show this part. So I'm just gonna cut right to the edge of the leaf. And then I can set this aside, and this would be really cool to use on a little tiny sign or another project. So I'll just set that back there, and I can use it on something else. And the same thing with the back of the feather. I'll just cut around my edges of my flower here. And then I will save the end of my arrow. Okay, so there's my first little set of florals. See how beautiful that is? There's a good variety and a good color range that I like. So I'm gonna cut all 3 of these little sections so I have them ready to go. And then as I place them, I can cut more or take away some. And then I'm going to use this one on the skull as well. I like this part because see how it has some of these little wildflowers that come out here and they kind of stray, and the leaves. I think that's gonna give us a really cool look. So I'll just go ahead and come down here. And I'm just gonna kind of cut around our purple flower. I try not to worry too much about little details of flowers when I'm cutting them because I don't want to have to work with little tiny stems. So I just get the large parts of the florals. And since this is a painting and a transfer combination, if my floral isn't perfect, okay, because I can just layer some paint right over the top of my transfer and cover up an edge if it's not exactly perfect around the edge of my flower. You can see the leaf isn't gonna be perfect. That's okay, so I'll layer it. And then let me set these aside. We'll cut a couple little peach flowers off of our Elegance and florals. Transfer here. Hey Amy. Hi Kim, how's it going? And I'm gonna grab these kind of peachy pink tones. They're a little bit earthy, which I really love. I'm gonna get the very edge of his foot, but you won't be able to tell. So that nice little section with our peachy pink florals. And let's see, oh, I really love this. So I think we should cut that and try and work that in as well. And maybe some of this. So let's come down and we will just kind of cut around some of these leaves. And actually I'll come right here and that way I can kind of reshape my own leaf. And we'll just bring it right up here. So I'm just gonna reshape this leaf to how I want it to look. And I still have a leaf shape. And kind of cut around. And we're just gonna be very rough right here. So since this edge I had to cut a little close because of the wing and that, then this floral is gonna need to go towards the edge of my painting. So it's gonna kind of have to come maybe down here or somewhere where the edge is going to hit and you're not going to notice that it's not perfect. You just kind of make it work for what you're doing. Okay, so now we have our transfers cut out. I have my little tool. This is what I'm gonna use to apply the transfers with. Now, some of you might be very visual people, and I almost lost you, and you might need to use tape and then cut the flowers out and tape them on so you can see where you want them and then slowly apply them. Or some of you might like to just try one here and there and then go do it as you go. And either way is totally fine. It's just kind of how everyone's brain works differently. It's how your mind works the best, and that's okay. But for me, I'm probably gonna start with my biggest floral here, and then I'm gonna work around that because I wanna make sure that I get a lot of this, and then I can add little florals coming up, and then I'll go ahead and add more of her hair. All right, so I think, ooh, I love, love, love that. And I kind of want it to hang down from her hair. I think I like that right there. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah, maybe. Okay, and then let's see. I am just going to take my little pencil and I'm gonna leave just an indent line kind of right over top of my plastic so I know where to cut. I don't have to cut it, but it's gonna make it a lot easier since this is already framed. If you have a canvas or a piece of wood that you're going to paint and do this with, you can frame it after and then you don't have to worry about those edges. This wood piece I got at the thrift store. It actually had a different sign, it had a saying on it. And I just painted over it and then I started my sketch. I really like doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do, find pieces like this because they're already made, they have the hanger on the back and they're well made and they just have a saying someone didn't like. And then it's a great solid piece to start your art project on. Okay, so I've got it all cut. And now I'm just going to kind of set it. Perfect. Peel off the backing. If you haven't used the transfers, the new transfers have a grid system, which is awesome if you are matching up multiple pieces. So I'm just gonna take this and carefully set it right in my corner. And I go right over my paint. So I just press it down with my fingers, and then I'm gonna take my little tool and I'm going to go ahead and really apply it to the piece really well. You can do this on canvas as well. Just make sure that you have something behind your canvas. If you're using a stretch canvas, make sure you have something behind it because your canvas will give, and you could cause it to stretch. So put a board behind your canvas, then apply this, and then it won't cause your canvas to stretch or give. But ideally, it's a little bit easier to apply to a board than canvas. Okay, let's see how that's coming on there. I think it's good. Just gonna go kind of slow, make sure it's adhering well. If I have any parts that aren't adhering, I'm just gonna go back over them, no biggie. Come down here. Perfect. And then I'm gonna press with my fingers and just make sure that it's completely on there. Just make sure your paint is totally dry if you're going to be layering like this. Thank you, Llewellyn. This is kind of a near and dear to my heart project. So, but for those of you that missed this is called She's a Wildflower. This project is called that, my painting. Okay, So now you can see she's starting to get some wildflowers in her hair. Flowers in her hair, right? You guys know that song? You better. Okay, so I've got it on there. I know it's applied now. I love that peachy pink color. I think we need to bring in some of the darker florals. So let me kind of see where we're gonna put this. And also, for those of you that don't know, I know the comments are kind of right where I'm applying this. If you can't see it, swipe the comments to the left and you'll have a blank screen and you'll be able to see all the things. Okay. Let's see, I kind of want it to come up. Ooh, I'm liking that. I love how that comes up into her hair there. Let's look at these ones and kind of see. I think that would kind of be pretty. And we can bring one, oh, and we still have this peachy. So maybe we'll do some peachies up here. Yeah. Then I feel like that will balance out. Then we'll bring some darker here and a little bit of darker here. And then let's look at this, how this flows over here. So you always want to kind of place them a little bit, look at them, see how they're going to flow. Oh, I like that because her hair, see how her hair curves around this way? It's kind of like the wind has brought it this way. So I think if I can kind of work these flowers here, it still gives that motion. And but it kind of comes out from her hair too, and I like the balance of the peach here and then the peach here. So let's apply this one and we'll apply this one and take a look at it and see what we think. All right, cool. Same thing, just peel it off. And let's see, we got some flow here and here, so I kind of, and the flowers are gonna kind of come right with that. And I can even set that there, and then I can come over here and I can apply this over here. And let's see, sorry, I think it cut out for you guys on this for a second. I can overlap the transfer, so you can see the one I've applied is here, and then you can see I've overlapped this one. And you can totally do that. So I'll start over here. Let's add these peachy pinks over here, and then we'll come over to this side. Thank you, Kim. You're the best. So probably a lot of you have seen the purses that are being done by some of the other ambassadors. And these Art Alchemy, the Impasto paints would be awesome on the purses. So if that's something that you've seen and you like, those paints are really, really great to paint, would be to paint on leather or fabric. Let's see. I have no nails, you guys. I can't grab it. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. Oh, that's so pretty. That's really cool. And then, like I said, after I get this all on there, if I want to have some strands of hair that kind of come over the top so it looks like it's more natural to the piece, then I can totally paint a little bit right over the top of them. And then it's going to become one with the painting instead of sitting right on top of her hair. I love it. Let's do this one and then take a peek. And then I'm gonna show you a little bit of these paints before I go. So I won't finish this whole bottom part. I'll also throw all my paints on the floor, which is what just happened. Anyway, I want to show you a little bit of working with these paints before I let you go. So let's get these florals on so you guys can see them. But if I wanted to layer the paints and over the top, I can layer it thicker too, which is gonna give you more of that 3D effect in a painting or work. Where can I order transfers? Carrie, I can get you a link when I'm finished here. I'll drop one for you. Okay. Let's come right up here. Oh, you can see that's coming up, so I'm just gonna stop and put it back down. And then you can also use this to go over it again. And I typically do that, but I'm just being a little bit more gentle. That's why I was going over with my fingers, because I don't want to affect, I don't want to rub too hard on my painting, as I've just painted this and it's dry, but it hasn't cured. So I'm trying to be gentle with it. I don't want to ruin what I have done. So now you can start to see the wildflowers in her hair. And you can still see that movement. See, her hair comes and kind of curves around while the flowers also curve. So it still kind of brings the movement and flow with her hair. And I think it's gonna turn out really, really nice. So I'm loving it. Marty, I believe so. I can find out for you. Okay, cool. Let me show you some of the impasto paints. And then I'm gonna keep painting this, and I've got another couple pieces that I'll probably add. I don't know if I'll add the entire piece or if I'll just cut out a few. I might need a little more right here to come up, or obviously I need some here. I also am probably going to write a little bit of a quote right here, just kind of on the back of her shoulder. So I don't want to completely cover that, but I could if I wanted to. So I'm going to show you the Art Alchemy Impasto paints really quick. These brushes are also from Redesign with Prima. I've showed these before several times, but they have little rubber ends with different tools on them that you can use for molding and shaping and painting, all kinds of cool stuff on them. So they're pretty neat little brushes. But I don't have my small angled one, so I'm gonna use a different angled brush just to show you this. Just a cheapo, this is just a little cheapo brush that I'm gonna show you. But anyway, so these have been sitting for quite a while, and they're still fairly wet, easy to use. You can use water with them, which is really nice. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of the red and orange, and then some of the tan. And then I'm gonna just bring it right over here and then add some of this really pale blue to it. And that's gonna give me this really kind of nice, almost like a sunset color. And you can mix them all the way, you don't have to. But I do dip my brush in water, and that's gonna give you a thinner line. It's gonna make it flow better. But if I want a thicker line and I want it to have texture, then I'm not gonna mix it with water, and I am just going to make sure I have plenty on my brush, and I am going to get goopy with it and just let the brush fall and kind of start to build some texture. but I want her to have some lighter tones up here. And you can see how I can just take these hairs that I'm making and I can take them right over my transfer. I don't want to cover it up too much, so I'm only gonna do 1 or 2. But I do like having that paint come right down into the transfer. I think that looks nice and helps it look more natural. I like using lots of colors too, so these are great to build up and add texture as you go. Add some more orange in here. Yeah, and we'll add a little bit up here. What are you guys thinking? You like it? Use a little bit over that transfer and kind of bring this one down here. Let it finish up down here. Yeah, give us some dimension too as we bring a few hairs right over top here and kind of let it come and fall over top of the transfer. Isn't that fun? Kind of a cool project. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going on this and make her into a wildflower. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them, and I will come back on here and I will answer them to the best of my ability. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it out for you. And I hope that you guys try something new. So the Impasto paints and transfers, it's a great combination, and let me know what you think. You can find more of my projects and my work on my page, it's Apple Blossom Way, and there is a link at the top. See you guys.